Hey, hey, don't hurt me. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I'm gonna have to start going live more because social media keeps sending me some naughty letters, and I actually wrote out an itinerary saying that I'm gonna go live more. So uh, make sure you're subbing, make sure you're following. I'm live on all platforms as we speak: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I have like 3 Facebook accounts. YouTube, Twitch, which I got a following there. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna be the next new Kai Sanat, but he I think he goes live 24 hours a day. It's crazy. But yeah, and Twitter, which Twitter made me upgrade and get a platinum program, which cost me $200 to. So if you hear from Twitter, just know I paid for you to be here. Welcome in, welcome in. Let me know where you're checking in from if you're checking in. Uh, and I'm glad you're here. If you're new here, if you never seen me before, you just start following for some random reason. You say, "Yo, man, this black dude look like he know what he's talking about," even though no one looks like they know what they're talking about. I'm here to tell you that I've been doing this money thing since like 2008. I got really, really efficient at about 2013. I started giving away the game for free at like 2018, 19, maybe 2020, and I just been providing value for a long period of time. And for years, people would say, "Yo, man, you do coaching, you do mentorship, you do one-on-ones," and I was just like, "Nah, man, I don't, I don't want to waste my time with it. I'll just give you the game for free." And it just people just wanted more and more and more and more and more, and just my time I got really thinned out trying to guide people. So now what I do is I offer a free webinar, link in the bio, and if you want to learn more about uh, credit, personal credit, business funding, LLC structure, S corp structure, taxes, 401k, investing, TSP, money market account, mutual funds, setting up trust, setting up revocable trust, irrevocable trust. We talk about business ownership, side hustles, talk about storage units, Airbnb. I mean, we break down real estate, Section 8, Sub 2, wholesaling, bird dogging. I mean, uh, syndication deals. I mean, we talk about everything under the sun when it comes to real estate. So, I mean, it is what it is. And by you clicking the link in the bio, it's a free class. It's like an hour and some change. And a lot of people will ask me, "Man, do you sell courses and stuff like that?" I don't do the course thing. To me, a course is like going to online college. Online colleges don't really teach you anything, in my personal opinion. You kind of learn the material. You almost teach yourself. They'll give you the books, they'll tell you what to read, and then they'll give you questions over the test. They'll give you test questions in the form of test, which I mean, in theory, I can do this at home by myself. I can look up the information myself. So why am I paying you to teach me something I can just look up? And then um, I do personal appearances a lot too, but a lot of personal appearances stuff I try not to do a lot of because one thing about personal appearances is you'll go out and meet different people. You go out there and see different people, and you'll go to this event. Let's say it's $500 or something like that. You might get a bite to eat. You might take a couple photos. You might go through the event. They might talk about some stuff. They might get into details of some things, but it's kind of hard to remember any of that stuff. And then you're gonna be hyped up for the week afterwards. But then afterwards, you're just gonna be like, man, I don't, I really get no value from that. But to me, true value on anybody's time that has information or it from coming from a place that you want to be is either like a coaching or a guide or a mentor. So that's where you need to kind of be focusing on. So whenever you're looking at stuff, you need to be looking for mentors. A mentor will walk you through the processes. They can kind of look at what you're doing, evaluate what you're doing right and wrong, and kind of guide you to what you need to do. Now, I'm not going to say I'm the best one on the planet or the best one in the United States, but I will tell you that I can dissect a lot of people's um, financial journey because I look at money differently. I've been good with money since damn near like 11 years old, 10 years old. I've been told my whole, you know how like, I don't know what you've been told your whole life, but I've been told I'm good with money since I was like 10 years old. Right? I used to like save up money. Like I remember I was in I was like in the cafeteria at like 5th grade or 6th grade. And I would sit there and stare at the ice cream. And then the cafeteria lady would be like, "What are you doing?" I said, man, that ice cream looks good. I really want one. And she says, "What, you don't have any money?" I said, "Oh yeah, I got the money. I just don't want to spend it on ice cream." And she was like, said most kids don't have that kind of restraint. Most kids would just buy the damn ice cream. I said, "Well, I'm not most kids. I ain't gonna say I was most kids. I was like, well, I'm trying to save up for something bigger, and I just want, I'm trying to save up for something else. I don't want to spend it on ice cream and junk." And just those type of mentality. Ever since I was a kid, it's just the way you should view things. You should try to view things from a money perspective. But I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're listening, and glad you tuned in. So let's go ahead and get to some preguntas, questions. Kind of get through some of this stuff. So somebody asked, what do you value more, time or money? Right? So I guess put in the chat, what do you value more? Your time or your money? And a lot of people who will say time, I want you to sit back and I want you to think about how much time do you give to somebody else every day, whether it's a job, whether it's to a spouse or a boyfriend, whether it's to your kids, whether it's to your job commute. When I was in the military, my commute was 45 minutes there and back. So I want you to think about how much time I wasted driving. An hour and a half a day, every day, no fail, right? You just put on a good song or a good podcast or a good book, and you just get to riding, and you almost become numb to your day. And you start sitting back and thinking, damn, I'm wasting an hour and a half every day. On top of the 9 hours you're at the job, on top of, if they have some overtime or something comes up or there's an exercise. The military, we do a lot of exercises, so we got to work 12-hour shifts or some shit. So let's say you do an hour and a half back and forth, you do a 12-hour shift. I mean, dude, that's damn near 14 hours a day. That's not including all the regular stuff you're supposed to do, shower, shave, eat, relax, wind down, watch a TV show. You can't do none of that stuff. Right? And then if you say you value money more, there are some things that money can't buy you, and that's time. Right? Or it can buy you if you made more money or you worked for yourself, then you don't have to work so many hours. And now you're getting your time back. But what are you really doing with that time too? Right? You should be putting that time to work instead of just sitting around and playing on your phone the whole time, But that's a good question. Just something to think about. Individuals talked about. I have a individual that I'm coaching / mentoring. He says I always give good insights, and I'm making him rich. And what's crazy about it is that, like, I don't see it in a lot of people, but when I hear him talk and I see what he's doing, he'll get there. It's almost like, say you're a basketball coach and you look at kids all day long, but some kids just walk in the gym and they just have it. Some people just have it. They know what they want. They know how to get there, and they're going to do everything they can to get to that next level. And I can appreciate that. So if he continues to do whatever I tell him to do, or we can kind of collaborate together and kind of get him to a similar goal. Once he get to a certain point, then it's all downhill, right? And I'm gonna break something down for y'all when it comes to real estate. There's a level of real estate ownership that when you get there, it's almost no turning back. It's no turning back. So let's say, for example, you're looking for $100,000 properties. Let's say you have to put $15,000 down on a $100,000 property. Okay. And let's say he's making $500 a month in rent per property. $500 a month. The down payment on the property is $15,000. And let's say every month he puts $500 out of his pocket and takes the $500 in rent. That's $1,000. 15 months, 15,000. Simple math. Now he buys another property. So now he's at $1,500 a month. 1,500. Next month, 3,000. Next month, 4,500. 6,000. So now he's at that 15,000, 11 months or 12 months. And then he's going to be at 2,000. 2,000 goes into 15,000 7 times. That's 7 months. He buys another property and another property. 6 months. Another property. 4 months. Another property. 2 months. Another property. Now he's buying them every month because now he makes $15,000 of income on these properties. So now if he was doing this while still working, now he could almost devote his whole day towards finding property. So now he got 15,000, he buys one a month. 15,000, then goes to 16,000, then goes to 17,000. And then before you know it, it takes $15,000 to buy another property, but now he's making $7,000 over his rental properties and rental property. So if his bills are $6,000 a month, he can buy another property every month and cover his expenses. So now that individual can spend the rest of his day looking at properties, and he's like, yo, I'm got one goal to buy one property every month. He buys one property, he's good. But if he was making a decent amount of money, he'll buy 1, 2, 3, and then he really off to the races. And then that's if the property is $15,000 down, which there's some cheaper than that. And that's if it makes $500 a month, which there's some out there that makes more than that. I was just looking at a property the other day that was bringing in cash flow $1,150. $1,150 US. $1,150. The property was 75. The payment on $75,000, if I put 10% down, it was owner financing. Listen to this. And these are the type of deals that I come across all the time. Mr. Richard, there ain't no properties in America. Bullshit. $75,000, owner financing, $7,500, 10% down. The payment was $600 a month. The rent was $1,700, $1,750. $1,150 a month. Now, how many properties would you have to own that paid you $1,000 a month for you to quit your job? Right? The average person in America makes $54,000 a year. So let's say $54,000 a year is the average income for American, right? 54,000 divided by 12, that's 4,500. 4,500 divided by 1,000. 5 properties. 5 properties at $7,500 down, right? So better question is, how fast can you get to 7,500 times 4? Some of y'all probably got, so 7,500 times 4, that's $30,000. And you know what I get all the time? Hey man, I got 30K. What can I do? Man, I got 45K. What can I do? That's your answer right there, man. That's your answer. Man, I got 15K. That's 2 properties. I got 15K, 2 properties that pay you cash flow. Cash flow is your income versus your expenses. The difference is what you make. You put $15,000 on 2 properties, okay? They pay you $1,000 a piece. That's $2,000. 2 times 12, that's $24,000. $24,000 minus $15,000 your down payment, you made $9,000 that year. Stop me when I'm lying, right? And if anybody don't believe me, just ask anybody in the program. Just ask anybody. Like this. It's not that hard to find this stuff. There are people all over social media that swears up and down that this is the greatest thing since sliced bread and that there's some magical formula out there. No. You can Google homes for sale in certain areas and find them. Google homes for sale for under $100,000. They're out there. You just don't think it's attainable and reachable for you. There's owner financing deals for houses under $100,000, under $150,000. There's owner financing with damn near zero down. You just got to know how to negotiate. You just got to know how to find them. Right? I bought and sold hundreds of properties. Hundreds. Some of them with no money down, no money out of pocket. If you know how to identify problems, you know how to find the people with the problems, you find the people with the properties, you can get that ball rolling. People, it's not rocket science, people. Hey everybody for coming in. Welcome. We have let's see what the subject is for today. But if anybody want to get started, somebody asks, what is the first step? It just depends on what you want to do, right? I do offer, let me see. I offer a free webinar, link in the bio. It should be starting here soon, sooner than later. I offer this different time slot, so just go in there and see when the next one's available. It's more likely Wednesday at 9 p.m. A lot of people talk about, so you have to get your credit repair. You know, it's kind of funny that you say that because when I first started off kind of helping people, right? What I used to do is I used to come on and I would talk for hours and I would give away just knowledge, games, know-how, and just talk to people, right? We all started off with 0 followers, right? Right. I probably got a couple million. I don't know. I don't care. Don't even care about that metric. But I'll give away game, and then people will say stuff like, well, I ain't got no capital. Man, my credit sucks. I ain't got an LLC. I don't have business structure. I don't even have a bank account. Right? I don't even know to check my credit. I mean, and just all things that would hinder them from the process, or at least they feel like they would hinder them. And then when people say stuff like that, you know what I hear is I hear that I want to change my family lineage or my family trajectory, but I don't know how. I have this thing in my way. I have this thing called credit. I don't have access to capital. I don't have access to know-how. A lot of people would just be scared too, or they feel like, oh man, that stuff doesn't work for me. And I'm saying, who are like, what does that mean? Right? Anybody can do this stuff. You just gotta want to do it and not be afraid that it's gonna just fail or collapse. And then, it's kind of funny. I met one guy, and we sat back, and it was like a 45-minute just debate about how the world is going to end. And I was just like, yo, man, maybe I'm just not the guy for you, because you're stuck in this weird mentality. Every time I say, yo, man, we need to probably do this, do this, do this, do this, or focus on these areas, he'll say, well, what about North Korea? What about the election? What about Trump? What about Kamala? What about Biden? What about uh, Russia? What about Cuba? What about the food crisis? What about inflation? What about, and I'm just like, yo, man, you got a lot of negativity in your heart, man. You can't live in fear. You cannot. You want to be an entrepreneur, you got to be like, take the bull by the horns, and you got to get on it. The early bird catches the worm. The person that goes out there and try to get the deal done will get it done. Right? You ever like saw something that was a deal, or you saw like a piece of property, or you saw like a car that was on sale, or you saw, I don't know, a piece of real estate, or you saw a business opportunity, or you saw something, and it was just like, damn, that's pretty good. But let me think about it. And then you thought about it some more, and then you waited 24 hours, 48 hours, or 64 hours, whatever it is, 72 hours, 3 days later, and then you come back, you still checking on it. It's like, damn, someone should get on this, man. This is a good deal. Someone's going to damn make some money, or someone's going to get ahead, because this is a good deal. I should probably do it too, but I don't know. I don't know if I should do it though. And then you come back a couple days later and it's gone. You have the mental fortitude to identify value. We all do. You know what value is when it's good and it's bad. You know what value is when it's shit, and you know when it is when it's sugar. You know what value is when it comes to food. You know what the value is when it comes to cars. You know what value when it comes to houses. You know what value comes to time. You know what value when it comes to resources. But yet, you hesitate when value comes to money. You saw a dress that you wanted to buy, or a shirt that you wanted to buy, normally $50, on sale for $5.99. You know what's crazy is? Not, I won't even say my wife. I'll say every woman I've ever met in my life can tell you every time, every deal that they've saved money on something. My wife will talk to me and say, look what I got. And it'd be something that I don't feel like we even need. But she could tell me how much they're going for, the website where they're going for it at, how much she saved, and the value that she's gonna get from it. Yeah, that's cool. Do the same thing when it comes to money. Do the same thing when it comes to real estate. Same thing when it comes to cars to put on Turos. Same thing when it comes to ATMs. Same thing when it comes to vending machines. Same thing when it comes to acquiring a business. You can tell me every deal there is in the world when it comes to saving, 28% on the damn blouse. But you can't tell me the same thing when it comes to real estate and business. That's bullshit, right? Or you're scared. But you weren't scared about that blouse that was 70% off. That brings you no value. It's the same thing, man. I'm not just saying that to like shun you away or discourage you. All I'm saying is that you have an innate ability to identify a need, a problem, a solution, and value. Why are you hesitating to do the shit? Doesn't make any sense. You understand value better than anybody in the world. Like I put like this: if I ask you what your car is worth, if I ask you what the average car that the same car you have is going for on the street, you probably could tell me that. Cool. Take half of what your car is worth right now. Say your car's worth 10. Cool. There's a car right down the street that's $5,000. Or you say your car's worth 10. Cool. There's a car down the street for 4,900. Same exact car, same exact model. Is that a deal? Yeah. Why don't you buy it? What I'm gonna do with it? You can sell it to someone else. You see what just happened? I told you the parameters. I showed you a deal, and I pretty much showed you how to make money. But you know what you didn't do? You wouldn't do? You probably wouldn't buy it. Well, I don't need another car. I don't fucking need another car either. But it's half off. I can sell it to someone for $7,500. Now I just made $2,500. The person who bought a $10,000 car for $7,500 is still getting the deal. You made 25. You pay half of what it's worth. You sell it for $2,500 more. Boom, boom, boom. That's what true entrepreneurship is: identifying a problem, seeing where you can make money on it, and hopping on the shit. We all can do that shit, right? That's not even a taught or a learned attribute. You know value, because I know y'all women love to shop. And if you love to shop, that means you can identify a good deal and a bad deal, right? So some individuals asked about credit. So if you want to get your credit repaired, or you're looking at getting credit repaired, or you want to know the ins and outs of credit repair and things, like I said before, I have a link in the bio. Get into the class, and I'll talk to you about everything about credit. So we talk about regular credit, we do business credit, we do business funding. We also work on your credit profile. We work on your credit history. We work on your names misspellings on your credit. We work on the improper addresses. A lot of people don't know, if you put a credit application in and they misspell your name, that's going to look bad on your credit, because now you have like 6, 7, 8 different names. You should only have one name on your credit. Just like if you have multiple addresses on your credit, you should only have one address, the current one you in. Everything else is irrelevant. If you have 7 addresses in the last 7 years, that shows you unstable. One address in the last 7 years, it shows you more stable. It shows stability. So it's things like that. But we do it for you. I've seen credit repair services where you sign up for it and then you got to go out. They teach you everything about it, and then you go out and do it yourself. No, I don't do that. You pay for it, I'll take care of it. All you got to do is sign up for your credit monitoring service. And then after that, it's downhill from there. You just sit back and relax, and we take care of the rest. But the process will take, a few months. It ain't gonna happen overnight. I tell people all the time, you didn't mess your credit up in a week. How the hell you think I'm gonna fix it in a week? Or some people say, yo, man, I'm trying to buy a house by next week. I'm trying to buy a house in 2 months. Like, shit, you better hope it's still on the market in 7. Because it don't work that fast. Shit, it almost takes 35 days for your credit to renew, to refresh. Individual said, I just finished my MBA. Congratulations, young sir. I saw a house for sale that was $250. It needed a roof, paint, fence. I made 75 VA. I make 65 VA loans. Should I do it? Should always hop on deals, man. If you can see the value in it, I would look at the houses in the neighborhood and see what they're selling for, and I would calculate how much money I need to put in it. I'll give you a quick, simple scenario. If you bought the house and you say it's 250 and you renovate it, roof, paint, landscaping, kitchen, whatever, right? Whatever the renovation cost plus the purchase price of the home should be about 70 to 75% of what all the other homes are selling for in the neighborhoods. If it's not 75%, it's not worth my time. So if I'll even make the numbers easy just to make it a little easier. So let's say I bought it for 250 and I put 50 into it. It's going to be 300,000. The houses should be selling for, what is 75%? So the houses should be selling for about, the house should be selling for about 410-ish. If I'm buying it for 250 and putting 50 in it, yeah, I should be having about $100,000 worth of equity in it. If it's not, it's just not worth my time. But what's cool is you got a VA loan. He said I had a VA loan. So VA loan means you got to put nothing down. You use a VA loan for a property, they're going to want to do an inspection on that property. It's got to have the four major components. You need a good roof, which you don't have, electrical, plumbing, HVAC. You need all four of those things to have a good, and it has to be living condition. It has to be a livable house, right? My first VA loan, it needed a lot of work, but it was a livable home. So if you can find a livable home that has good AC or current AC, roof, plumbing, and electric, then, and you still can put money into it and still make money, those are your best bets. I mean, that's the holy grail. That's the unicorn of homes, because VA loan, you can move into it zero down, and you can make money. You don't have to put anything into it. Then you have to put money into it to make it livable, but you're gonna live in it while you do the same process, and you pretty much forcing appreciation and forcing equity. But it's kind of hard to get approved for a home that's turnkey and still needs work and still VA approved for it. You can find it. I'm rooting for you. Hey, sir. We call another man no Poppy. Hey, Poppy. Individual asked, what is my expertise or opinion on grants? Now, I'm not the best at everything, but where I lack, others are strong. I have a friend who is one of the best grant writers out there, and if you get on my team or get into the group, I will introduce you to that individual, and then we get access to multiple grants. And every once in a while, what I'll do is they'll give me a grant that we apply for free, and they'll be like, "Hey, yo, here's a 3-minute grant," and I'll text everybody, "Here's a 3-minute grant," and you just put in your name, your business name, what your business do, how can you use this grant to help others, and then you go. 3, 4 minutes, 2 minutes, and $4,500. Somebody got to win. You might as well put your name in it. But there's tons of grants out there, right? You just got to know how to apply to them or apply for them. And like what this person did is they made pretty much a program where every month they'll send you out a grant list, and you just apply for the ones you want, instead of you going out there and trying to find them and going out there and trying to do your research on what's the best grant and try to stay up on it. No, you just get a newsletter with everything you want on it and just click on it, and then you just apply, which kind of makes sense. Makes it a whole lot easier. How can we join the group? Kind of new. What's happening? So, if you're interested in joining the group, I have a free webinar coming up. Oh my goodness, my back. The link's in the bio. Sign up. I don't sell your information. I don't need to. Uh, Name, number, email. All right. Come to the group. You like it, you find value, we can move forward. If not, you have a good day. Like, it's pretty straightforward. I meet a lot of people that'll like take your information, they sell it to like mailers list, or they'll bombard you with like random text messages. And dude, I'm not like that. I don't give a dang about none of y'all information, right? I don't need to sell it to like no newsletter in China. I don't have to do that, right? If you want to learn more about making more money and getting business structure, fixing your credit, business lines of credit, business funding, you want to learn about that stuff, let's move forward. If not, I'll show you what I have to offer. If you're interested, we'll go from there. If not, it's fine, right? No sweat off my back. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people out here who aren't genuine. There's a lot of people out here that try to sell you snake oil. There's a lot of people try to sell you like get rich quick shit. I'll be straight up with you. This shit is not easy, right? I'm gonna tell you how the stuff it works, the best way that it can apply to you, the ways you should be doing it. And sometimes people listen to that and they're like, "Damn, man, I don't know about this, man. I thought I was gonna just come in here, pay a little fee, and then you go ahead and do everything for me." No, it doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that. There's not a thing where you just pay into and everything's done for you. You know, even if you pay for a haircut, you got to show up. You can't be at home to my yo man. I need you to cut my hair. Okay, when you gonna be in? I gotta come there. Yes, you have to be here for me to cut your hair. You mean to come to you and cut your hair in your bed? I mean, yeah, you might can, but it costs because you paying for people's time. Hell, a haircut you paying for people's time, right? And at least you got to sit there. It's the same thing, man. But I can talk to people for more than like 5 minutes, and I already know what kind of person they are. If they're the type of person that's really gonna be in here getting it in, or they're just like kicking tires. Because some people out there they really want to do it. Some people come in here and they buy a business 6 months. Some people just sit on their hands. Some people start buying real estate 6 weeks. Hey man, I got my first investment property. 6 weeks later, got my second one. 6 weeks later, I just bought 3. 4 weeks later, I just got another 3 of them. And then some people are like, man, I don't know, man. I saw this good deal, and I don't know if it's gonna work out. It's kind of wishy-washy, and I look at the numbers. I say, yo, this is it. You gonna run it? Man, I'm gonna really think about it. Just like the evaluation earlier. You meet people all the time. Like, majority of people in this world can identify value or a good deal in anything. Same thing when it comes like when shopping. It's the same thing, right? Like your car, same thing. Take your house. Let's say if you have a house. Every house on your neighborhood is selling for $400,000, but your neighbor's house came up for sale. Let's say your neighbor came to you and was like, yo, man, I'm thinking about moving. Well, what happened? Yo, man, I got convicted of grand larceny. I'm going to jail for 20 years. Shit, that sucks. Yeah, man, I own this house outright. I need to sell it in a week. Let's do that. Your neighbor came to you, $500,000 neighborhood. Yo, man, I need to sell my house this week. Okay, cool. What you want for it? Shit, someone give me $250, they can have it. Well, everything in the neighborhood is selling for $500,000. Yeah, man, I got a weekly bounce. $250 cash. I'll sell it. Now, what would you do? Let's run that scenario. Your neighbor came to you and offered to sell you his house for half of what it's worth. because he's going to jail or some shit. He need the cash, and he going to jail in a week and a half, 2 weeks. How you doing, sir? What'd you do? Some people say buy it. Some people, how? What do you mean? I'll buy it. Some people say I'll buy it, but where do I get 250? And that's why you learn from people like me. I'm gonna put you on some game now, right? You know, there's companies out there that loan investors money on hard assets. They are called hard money lenders. So if you're bored, stop what you're doing for a sec. I'll give you a minute. I'll give you 30 seconds. Get out the app, go to Google, hard money lender near me. And then you come back to the chat and see and tell me how many you find. Boom, 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 ba-dum, boom, ba-dum. I'll give you 30 seconds. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So, since y'all went and did that, and you say, well, fuck, I didn't even know this shit even existed. Yeah, of course you don't. Because you're hanging around people talking about cell phones and shit all day instead of people out here trying to make some real fucking money, right? You know. Now, you go take that, you call that individual and say, hey, I got a property. Well, how much is it worth? Someone said, I found three. Found three near me. Wow. Someone said 25 plus in my city. Someone else said 8. Someone else said 14. Wow. 3, 25, 16, 8. Hard money lenders. I'm going to break down what a hard money lender is. They call them hard money lenders. There's a misconception and then there's the truth. The misconception is that they give you hard terms on the money that they lend you. But the answer is they loan money on hard assets. A house is a hard asset. Now, they'll give you the money for the property, but they want 10% interest on that property. Okay? So let's do some simple math. 250, 10%, that's 25,000. Wow. Now you all in 275. Now let's say the property needs 50,000 worth of work. Wow. Hard money loan lenders will lend you money to renovate properties, construction loans. So now they're going to give you the 50 because their money is in the asset. Because if you default, they're going to have a $500,000 property. So they don't give a fuck. And they're going to make interest off of all of this. So you borrow $50,000, 10% juice. That's $5,000. You borrow $250, 10%. That's $25,000. So now you got $275 on the house. Now you got $55 on the renovation. So $500,000 minus $55,000 to renovate it minus $275. Now you at $170 difference. Now you take away 10% from closing fees. That's $17,000. No, sorry, that's another $50,000. That is $120,000. You're gonna pay some capital gains tax, but I'll worry about taxes later. You made $120,000 by knowing how a system worked. Now, this is where it gets good. How much money did you take out of pocket? How much of the work did you do? The $50,000 was a construction loan. You just paid a contractor. All you did, you saw a problem and you helped somebody solve it. Your neighbor got paid his cash. The hard money lender got their interest. You got the property, and the real estate agent sold the property, and you made $120,000 in the process. Now, this is where it gets good, people. What's stopping y'all from doing that now? What's stopping y'all from doing that now? Someone said with the construction loan, don't you have to pay up front? You can do draws. You can do draws. They'll give you the money up front for the first draw. Typically, you do like 4 draws. So let's say the first 25, let's say if it's, I'm gonna make it easier just to make this conversation easier. So let's say if it's a $60,000 construction loan, they'll give you the first draw for free. So first 1,000, the first 15,000, they'll give you the draw for free. And then when you want the second draw or the next 15,000, the hard money lender will come to the property and look where your progress at, see where their money's going. They say, okay, cool, you look like you're making progress. Here's the next 15,000. Now you got $30,000 in. You say, hey man, I need my next $15,000 draw. They're gonna look at the contractor. They're probably gonna meet him. They're gonna look at the budget, and then they'll say, okay, cool. Here's your next 15,000. And then when they say, okay, cool, I'm in the home stretch, they give you draws. They don't give you the whole thing up front. It's called a draw system. But that's a good question. Based on draws. Now, back to what I was saying. What's stopping y'all from doing that now? Man, my neighbor ain't selling no property. Not literal neighbors, figurative neighbors. How many distressed properties are within a square 30 miles of where you are? I know the answer. I'm just seeing, give me a percentage. Give me a percentage. A distressed property is one that's abandoned, tax liens, probably going to go to foreclosure, probably that's distressed, that need a lot of work to it. What percentage of homes fall into this realm? $8%, 10%, 15%, 19%, 30%. You drive down the street in the average homes, most homes are fixed up. There ain't a lot around here. I live in a good neighborhood. Bullshit. The answer is about 11%. 1 out of every 10 homes in America are distressed. You driving down the street through your neighborhood, count to 10. Somebody in that neighborhood or somebody across the street or somebody in the next subdivision, every 10 is in a bind. Okay? So when people say, yo man, there ain't no deals out here, you full of stool. You are full of crap, because I see them all day long. I get emails all day long. I get texts all day long. I got bird dog buddies all day long, wholesalers all day long, investors all day long. People that want to do partnerships all day long. People want to do syndication deals all day long. I probably get no shit 50 deals a day. I see 50 real estate deals in my local area. I could only imagine if I started reaching out. That's my local area, 50 deals. And people say, yo, man, there ain't no deals out there. You don't know what you're doing, man. You have to be taught how to invest in real estate. You're not going to wing it. You're not going to try to figure it out. You're going to lose. It's like you're trying to teach yourself how to play basketball and then try to go into like a 5-on-5 tournament against college or professionals. You're going to lose bad. Oh man, I watched some AND1 mixtapes. I can go ahead and do this. No, you're going to lose. Oh man, I watched a couple of highlights of LeBron James. I think I can hang with them. No. High schoolers are better than college. College people are better than high schoolers, and pros are better than college for a reason. I am a serious, full-time entrepreneur. When I talk to you and I talk about different steps, different lessons, you are not on my level. You're not going to figure this shit out on your own. Right? And if you do, it's going to take years. That's why I started offering coaching, because now I can shorten the process, because I got tired of people saying, yo, man, what about this? What about this? What about syndication? What about Airbnb? What about short-term rentals? What about long-term rentals? What about corporate leasings, which no one even talks about? What about assisted living facilities? No one's talking about this stuff. Corporate leases make you damn near 150% more than just a long-term regular lease. It has the benefits of Airbnb with none of the damn downfalls. You don't have to clean it up because the corporate lease takes care of it. Syndication, pulling people's money together and buying property. Section 8, getting government's money. Lease option, sub 2, bird dog, wholesale. You got to learn these terms, and you got to learn how to make them work effectively. Hell, I just gave you one, a hard money lender. You know the bad part about it? I say, yo, y'all stop what y'all doing, go Google hard money lender. You know how many people went in there? At least 10 people. And you know why you did it? Because you never even heard of this stuff. When you driving down the street and you see this freaking office building, and it says something like building financial group or money solutions or Sunshine Financial Group, you're like, what the hell is that? I never even heard of that. What are they doing there? That's what they do. They loan people money on real estate properties so the person doesn't have to come out of pocket to buy these properties. And if you default, they just take the property and then they fix it up and then they sell it for a profit. Or you can give them the interest. That's what they do. A lot of y'all probably even heard of that shit. That's why you have to learn. Now, could you go ahead and figure that shit out yourself? Yeah, it's going to take you some time. All right. And what's the difference between a good hard money lender and a shitty hard money lender? All right. You want to learn that too? Let's go. I can teach you that. Right. Or you can sit around and call hard money lenders all day and try to figure some of that shit out. And then you're just wasting your time. Time is more important than the money, man. I promise you that. All right. Someone said, I spent $250,000 on a brick and mortar and can't make $5,000 money. Things are slow. Well, mister, I don't know what you bought, but you should have came to me. But I don't know if things are slow. I think things will pick up a little bit after this, after we find out what's going on and with interest rates and in the White House. But it just depends on what industry you're in, and depends on what you're working on. Someone said, hey man, I got 100K. What's the best way to invest it? Sir or ma'am, you're rich and you don't even know it. you are rich and don't even know it. You know, it's funny. I meet people who I start sitting on certain kind of money, and it's just funny how, like, I'll meet people that get inheritance. I'll meet people that get a windfall of money. I get people that are like sell their house and they're just sitting on 100, 200, 300, $500,000, and they're just like, yo, man, I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, yo, bro, you rich, right? Or at least financially free. You know, first of all, I'll tell you this. You need to know what you want to do in life. Let's say if you have six figures sitting around, what do you want to do? Do you want to be well off? Do you not want to work? Do you want to be rich? Or do you want to be wealthy? Because those are all just risk tolerance. That's the difference. You know, you can buy a business for $100,000 that's making you, $40,000 a year. And let's say your income is $45,000 a year. I mean, well, shit. Now you damn near ain't got to work. You just bought it for cash. Now, not wanting to work and be rich and be wealthy are two different things. And a lot of people don't differentiate them. A lot of people don't even define rich. What is rich? Rich is subjective. What is wealth? Wealth is subjective. Some people want to spend all day with their kids. That is wealth to them. Cool. Let's reverse engineer from there. Some people say rich is going out and not worrying about bills every month. Cool. Let's reverse engineer that. Some people say, I just want $1 million in my bank account, which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But whatever. If you want $1 million in your account, let's dissect what it's going to take to get $1 million in your account. You know, if you don't want to work for anybody else, okay, cool. How much do you make a month? $5,000. Cool. Let's find something that pays $6,000. Where's the rocket science in this? It's not hard. If you're making $5,000 from a job and you buy a business that pays you $6,000, well, in definition, you can quit your job. If you make $4,000 a month and you got 8 rental properties that pay you $500 a month, that's $4,000 a month. In theory, you can quit your job, right? Don't overthink some of this money stuff. If you got a side hustle, like I helped these two guys, and they was like, yo, man, we want to start a side hustle to save up money to buy a business. The side hustle started making more money than buying a business. So now they just do side hustle all day long. They're making about $10,000 to $12,000 a month a piece, two guys. So we say $25,000 a month of income. Now I say, yo, man, you can take that $25,000, set it aside, and let's go buy you a business here soon. They said, no, we're good. This is working out fine. We've been doing this a year. I think we can do this full time. Or then they was doing it full time, and then they off to the races. You know, and I can appreciate that, because a lot of people get blinders on, and they can't see what's right in front of them. If you saving up, you got a side hustle, and the side hustle is making you enough money to quit your job, but you want to take the side hustle money and buy a business, but the side hustle money is making you just as much money as the business would, why don't you get in the business, right? It's like you're creating your own problems. And a lot of people don't look at it like that. You know, whatever works for you. And a lot of people will say, yo, man, I want to buy a specific type of business. I want to buy a Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, well, there's no Dunkin' Donuts for sale around you. Oh, see, that's bullshit. Why? Why is it bullshit? I mean, here's 500 different businesses for sale. You want to look at any of these? No, I want a Dunkin' Donuts. You're getting in your own way now. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people can't see beyond their own foolishness or their own stubbornness or their own blinders. I was talking to an individual last week, something similar. I want to start XYZ. I want to do, I want to start this business from scratch and build it up to this. And I said, why? Because my family handed me down this industry, and I want to take this, and I want to build it, and I want to grow it, and I want the world to know who I am. Why? I don't get it. I don't get it, sir. I don't. Why reinvent the wheel when you can just buy the wheel? Why build a car when I can just buy a car? Why build a house when I can just buy a house? You know? Why? I mean, any of that shit, right? Why spend hours and years in the treadmill when you can just go get the body you want in a weekend? I mean, it's kind of the same thing, not a little differently, but I mean, you're getting the gist. Why reinvent the process, right? There's, for the most part, not too many creative ways to make money in the last 30, 40, 50 years, right? You might get some people talking about, man, I can day trade, I can do crypto, I can do, not out. That's just trash. I do the same shit that old white people been doing for years. And I'm trying not to make this about race, but I mean, if I asked a 80-year-old rich white man, an 80-year-old Asian man, an 80-year-old Middle Eastern man who was all rich, how they get their money? I bet it won't be for no fucking cryptocurrency or no some other bullshit that's people out here floating. I can already tell you what. Just throw it out there. If you had to guess, what would you say? Right? Use your head for more than a hat rack. If I had to guess, where statistically what the majority of the wealth in America is at. If the majority of the wealth in America is in white America, Asian America, Middle Eastern America, if that's what the majority of wealth is, why the fuck am I listening to Cardi B about fucking stock advice? Kevin Hart, Jay-Z, Beyonce. You a damn fool. Cardi B can't tell me nothing about money. Jay-Z can't tell me about money. None of it. Right? Hey man, I like your music. You know what? I saw you on YouTube, my boy. I'm gonna give you this play. You know what? Respectfully, sir, I'm gonna have to decline. Why? Because you made the majority of your money from selling albums. I can't rap worth a shit. Mr. Hart, I'm gonna have to respectfully decline. You made the majority of your money selling jokes. Cardi B, you made the majority of your money rapping. And I can't rhyme, pencil, and stencil. I don't have no fucking clue. But what I can do is listen to these older people in these other races and see how they do it. Well, how they do it? How would you guess? Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. Business ownership, right? When you go to a gas station, you see a Middle Eastern man working the counter. He probably own it, or he probably have his family working there. You go to an Asian restaurant, you see an Asian person working. You ever been to an Asian restaurant and there's been a black person working the counter? Or let me guess, a white person? Shit, no. Why? 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 I want you to close your eyes and think about what a real estate investor looks like. Some rich old white dude with a suit. You know, the shitty part about it is you're looking at one. It's crazy. I'm not old. I'm not white either. But this is what a real estate entrepreneur look like. When you think of a business owner, probably think of the Middle Eastern, probably think of Asian, probably think of old white dude. No, this is what it looks like. I am him, and I'm the guy. When you think about an individual who invests in long-term ETFs, mutual funds, stock bonds, you picture some old guy in a suit looking at the stock tickers. No, I am him. This is what I do. So I'm statistically putting my money where old, rich other people putting their money at, because it ain't in Hellcats, and it ain't in fucking Soul Glow, and it ain't in any other fucking ghetto ass bullshit. That ain't the play, right? That ain't the fucking play. And I wouldn't mind listening to more black people when it comes to this stuff, but there's not a lot of people out here who giving it some real game. They all talk about the same dumb shit, right? You put your money in this, and 2 months later, as soon as you give me a timeline on any type of returns, you've gonna lost me. I don't want to hear none of that shit. You give me 5K, right? And in 2 months, I'm a double. Shut the fuck up. That shit is trash. 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 What I think about car washes can be good businesses. Depends on what you want to do. Do you want the self-service car washes, or you want the automated car washes? Automated ones cost a little bit more. I think that this is my personal opinion when it comes to the car wash industry. Car washes, the industry is kind of revolving or evolving into self-service, not to automated, but there's always going to be a niche for a self-service wash. So a lot of people just want to go through the drive-through, pay their $10, $15, and then go vacuum out their stuff. But there's always going to be individuals who have like RVs, individuals who have boats or have campers or have a trailer or have a flatbed they want to wash out. The automated service is going to be increasingly harder to get into because a lot of people want to go that route, meaning that people are going to try to lean towards getting out of the self-service with the bins and the quarters and stuff like that. So there's going to be, to me, in the next 5 to 7 years, there's going to be a huge gap on self-service. And I think that you probably need to start looking at those before you start looking at the, automated ones. That's just my personal opinion, though, right? But there's money in both of them, right? What is the cheapest fast food franchise to acquire? Man, there's tons, right? And I try not to say cheapest. I don't look at things as, don't look at something that's cheap. Look at the value you're going to get from it, right? Let's say if there's a business, let's say there's a Little Caesars and a Jimmy John's. I don't know. Let's say the Little Caesars is $50,000, but you lose $9,000 every year. But the Jimmy John's is $100,000, but you make $90,000 a year. Well, was it better to get the cheaper one? No, because you lose $9,000 every year as soon as you buy the shit. So don't focus on cheap. Focus on what makes money, and what can pay you a return on the money you put into it. That's where you need to be at. What makes people afraid of becoming wealthy? People have this, it's a scarcity mindset. When people don't have something, they're scared they're going to lose it. So what they do is they don't use what they have. So, for example, if like, say if you grew up your whole life and you never had anything, like you never had any money, you never really had any nice clothes, you never really had any nice anything, right? But then you got a little money and you start getting nicer clothes and nicer shoes and stuff like that. Now you're going to treat those better than the average person. It's kind of, it's like when I watch people who are like sneakerheads, and they can always tell you, yo, man, I never could afford a pair of Jordans. And I finally got a pair of Jordans, and I didn't want to crease them up. I didn't want to like damage them. I cleaned them every day. That is a scarcity mindset. If I bought a fucking pair of Jordans, I don't care if they're $200 or $2,000. I'm gonna wear them, I'm gonna dog them out, and I'm gonna throw them away, and then I'm gonna get some more Jordans. I don't like, people put the value in the wrong shit. And the same thing when it comes to money. If you've never had money and then you get a windfall of money, say there's an inheritance, you got a lawsuit, let's say you won a lottery, any of that shit, right? You're going to get a windfall of money. Let's say 50,000 popped in your account right now. You know what you're going to do? Nothing, because you never had it. So what do you do with it? You do nothing with it. You'll trickle it away. Let me get caught up on some bills. Let me get out a little debt. Let me take a little vacay. Let me do this. And it's going to be a $500, $2,000, $5,000, $200, $600, $800. And then 2 years later, that fucking money is gone. On what? Not a damn thing. But if you used to having money coming in, when you have it come in, you're just gonna put it right back to work. If I bought a business, it cost me $100,000, and then I get another $30,000 at the end of the year, I'm gonna take the $30,000 and I'm gonna put it down on another business. If I bought a piece of real estate that made me $100,000 and it makes me $15K over a year, I'm gonna take the $15K and buy another piece of real estate, right? Now, if I get a windfall of money, say if I inherited $500,000, I'm gonna just keep doing the same shit I was doing before. I'm gonna just go out here and buy more businesses and buy more real estate, because that's just what I do, right? People who don't have shit gonna keep doing the same shit that they was doing before. People who have stuff and have money and have those assets gonna continue to do the same shit they was doing before. That's why people are afraid of money, because they never had it. When they get around it, they get scared of it, and then they do nothing with it. I'm gonna give you a quick scenario. I'm gonna make this about military too. When I go to combat, one of my instructors explained to me this: people who aren't used to shooting guns, when the time comes to shoot a gun, they will freeze, because they think to themselves, man, am I doing something right or wrong? And if you freeze in a war type environment, then you will be a victim. I hate to say it. I'm not trying to be vulgar or gross. You have to, when information is presented to you, you have to do what's best for you. And if you sit on your hands, then nothing's good gonna come from that in time of war. So right before you go to a war, they will sit you down and talk to you about different types of scenarios, different types of shooting drills, different types of encounters, different types of any of that stuff. Because when the time comes and the shit hits the fan, what are you gonna do? Right? Everybody got everybody got a plan until you get hit in the face. What Mike Tyson said it best: you get hit in the face, then your game plan goes out the window. You know what you're gonna rely on? Your instincts and muscle memory. So if I'm normally buying properties, normally buying businesses, when money comes in, I'm just gonna keep buying businesses and keep buying real estate. It's the same thing. Or buying stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, and all that other kind of shit. It's the same thing. Same thing. Don't overthink it, right? Don't overlook it. Just do what comes natural. And if you're hanging around individuals who talk about money all day, and you associate with people that buy shit all day with real estate and businesses and investing in a 401k, TSP, Roth ETFs, index funds, when you hang around individuals and that's all they talk about, when you get the bag, that's all you're going to talk about. You hang around people that talk about grills and gold chains and dreads and Hellcats. You know what you're going to do when you get a fucking job and some money? You're going to buy a fucking grill. You're going to buy a gold chain. You're going to buy a fucking necklace. You're going to buy a Hellcat because that's all you know. That's all you're exposed to. And sometimes I don't think it's about being afraid. I just think that's just people's environment. That's what they're exposed to. I don't make people in their environment, but I tell people now, you are a product of your closest friends. And if them clowns ain't doing shit, then you're not gonna do shit either. If they spend all their money on clothes and shoes, then you're gonna spend all your money on clothes and shoes. If they out here buying businesses, then you go out and buy businesses too. If they're in the real estate, then you'll be in real estate too, right? Look at your closest friends. What are they doing with themselves? And if in 5 years, do you want to be exactly like them? If the answer is no, you gotta quit fucking around, man. Today's your day. You want to learn more? Click the link in the bio. I got a plug, right? I got a plug, right? Someone said, what about tiny home subdivisions? Yeah. I wouldn't build them. I would not build them at all. I'll just buy one that already exists, right? If I buy something on Friday, how much money did it make me between Friday and Monday? When I go check my account on Monday, how much money in my account? If the answer is zero, you made a bad decision. But it's not rocket science, man. It's not. A lot, yeah, man. Is this good? Is this a good purchase? Cool. How much money you make on day one? Well, see, what happens is I got a buddy, right? Oh my goodness. No thanks. See, what happened is I'm gonna buy it, right? So I'm gonna have to do this to it to start making. No, I'm good. No thanks. So no. So see, what's gonna work is, see, it's at a discounted rate. It's normally worth $1 million, but I can get it for 50. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna live there for 6 months and you bought it on Friday. How much money did you make when you look at your account on Monday? Sometimes hypothetically too, right? You buy a piece of property, you're not hypothetically making any money that Monday, but hypothetically you're making whatever the profit is divided by how many days every month. So if you make if you make $1,000 a month and you divide that by 30 days on average, that's $33. Friday 33, Saturday, I'm sorry, Friday 33, Saturday 33, Sunday 33, Monday 33. So you made $132. Cool. You bought it on Friday. What'd you make on Monday? I made $132. Sound like a good deal to me. After everything's paid, yep, cool. Sound fine to me. Cool. You gonna save up that money and get another one? Yes, sir. All right. I don't see no fucking Hellcats and no Jordans. Oh man. The Millionaire Next Door. Millionaire Next Door, which is a great book. So for those, someone said The Millionaire Next Door in the comment section. For those who don't know, there's a book called The Millionaire Next Door. I kind of give you the nutshell because I always like to tell people, I read a lot and I just don't be out here just saying random shit. I can damn near cite most of the book. So it was a guy, he was in New Jersey. I remember that specifically. He was in New Jersey and his neighborhood, he had to take this long ass path. It went down the ravine by this river, by like a lake or something, and it went all the way back up to the top. But there was a shortcut from one side of the town to the other side, but it had to go through like a rich neighborhood. But the rich neighborhood was like a half a mile long. So you could take the neighborhood, you go cut through the neighborhood, half a mile long, or you can, which would take about 5 to 6 minutes, or you can go all the way around and it will take you another 30 minutes. So one day he was in traffic and it was a gated community, but he saw that the gate was open. So he said, hell yeah, I'm gonna cut through. So he cuts through the neighborhood, try to save him a little time. And he noticed that every house on this community, because it was like just, it was like a little subdivision, but it was a straight shot. And he noticed that these houses was like 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 square feet, huge ass mansions, huge. And he was just like, who the fuck lives in these houses? And then the crazy part about it is his house was like 3 subdivisions over, pretty much from that area. So three subdivisions down the road. So maybe 3, 4, 5 miles maybe. And he was just like, yo, who lives in these houses? And so what he did is he went to work and all he could think about is, man, who lives in these houses? Who are these multimillionaires and probably even billionaires that I didn't even know was in this damn neighborhood? I always saw the gated community, but I never knew what they were talking about. So what he did is, his next day off, he sat in front of the gate and a landscaper came through and he followed the landscaper through the community. He got a like a little vest. It said like surveyor or some shit like that. I forgot what the vest said, but he had a clipboard and he had a list of questions. I think it was 10 questions. And he went door to door and asked them all 10 questions. What do you do for a living? How much money do you make? How long have you been doing this? Do you have any advice or guidance for anybody who wanted to get in that industry? What do you think stops successful people from, like, what do you think stops successful people and broke people? What keeps people down in America? And all this other kind of stuff. He went door to door. And he said he had to come back to the neighborhood multiple times to get everybody. And if they went home, he would come back. He would have like a little map and he would mark them off. And what he learned is that the majority of people who are rich don't really have like this ultra high net worth income and some shit. Like people think, oh man, this guy's a doctor, this guy's a professional athlete, this guy's a lawyer, this guy. No. They just own 1 or 2 processes that make them a lot of money, or they own some real estate, or they're real conservative, or they'll have like 2 normal jobs and they're extremely frugal, right? I remember one specifically. One was it was 2 accountants. 2 accountants. They both made $70,000, $75,000 a piece, which is $150, which people could consider a lot of money. But they drove shitty cars. They didn't eat out. They didn't spend all their money on junk. They rarely take vacations. And everything they got in, they invested it. Which, I don't know how many people on here. I'm counting damn near 100. All y'all can do that. Everybody here can do that. Cut the fat. You can do it, but you need your car. You need Netflix. You need Disney Plus. You need DoorDash. I gotta eat out. I feel like I'm working for nothing if I don't eat out. All right. You keep doing the same shit you're doing every day, and you're gonna be living the same life you do every day. Right? I don't make the rules. It's in a book. A guy interviewed multiple people, and that's what they said not to do. Right? You can continue to listen to yourself, or you can listen to multimillionaires. Listen to people like me. Multi-millionaire. How much do I spend on subscription entertainment a month? $4. I have one subscription service. And only reason I have that because I go to sleep to it. It's like Netflix? Nope. Paramount? Nope. Hulu? Nope. Disney Plus? Nope. Cable? No. None of that shit. And then the bad part about it is, if y'all want to be honest with me, how much money do you spend between, I'll give you the internet. You need the Wi-Fi in the house. I'll give you that one. How much are you spending on cable, DirecTV, football packages, Amazon Plus, Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix? How much you spending a month on that stuff? I bet no one want to be honest with me, because I already know, I know the answers, man. Now I want you to think about it like this. And how long? And then this was gonna get good. How long you been doing it? 10 years? You know, I was talking to my father the other day, and I said, I was looking at some of his finances, and I said, yo, man, how much you spend on like DirecTV? He said, oh, it's a bundle with my internet. I said, what is that? He said, $172. I said, oh, no, we done with that. We done with that. I said, do XYZ, $45 a month. And I'll give you the internet. We're done with that, dog. Now you could take the surplus, which is what, $1.40? No, $1.30? Let's say you invested $130 a month, every month for the last 12 months, over the last 10 years of you having DirecTV. There's ways you can do it. Why? I'll give you one. Satellites. They're at Walmart for 20 bucks. They're on Amazon for $20. You got 3 TVs, 3 satellites, that's 60 bucks. It gives you all your local channels, give you first 60 channels. Get a Fire Stick, Roku stick, or a speed box, or sorry. I can't think what that shit's called now. Is it a speed box? I don't know. Type in box S5. It gives you every damn cable channel. It's 300 bucks. You'll never have a bill in your life. And then you take the surplus and you invest it. Don't go out and say, oh, well, I got an extra $150 now, so I go out and go to the club. That's stupid. That is dumb. A burn box? No. I can't think what it's called now. Surplus box? Or it's not a burn box. It's called a... Not a smart box. I don't know. I don't remember. No. Better. Someone said Kodak is old school. I'm on some new stuff, man. I don't like Kodi that much. Invest with me. Come with me. You talking to me? Hell yeah, I'm talking to you. I know who I'm talking to. Shit. I know my audience. If anything, I know my audience. I know who you are. I know your pains, your struggles. I see it all that. You know what? I'm gonna tell you one thing I can really appreciate about the military is when you're in the military, you have to interact with people constantly, and you're like stuck in like a trench, or you're stuck in like a exercise, or you're stuck in like a van, or you're stuck in like scenarios where you wouldn't necessarily interact with people, but you have to, right? Let's say if I got pulled to do like cop duty, and I'm stuck in a car with this guy for 12 hours. I mean, you're not just going to sit there and play on your phone for 12 hours, right? You get to talking to these people. Hey, man, what do? You like doing this? How long you been doing it? Where you from? you're married, you're single. Then we start talking about you got a car, you got a house, and all this other kind of stuff. And I see, yo, man, or I'll be stuck somewhere and sit somewhere, yo, man, I got to pay my damn electric bill. Well, how much your electric bill? $300. Shit. What other bills you got coming out this month? I got a cable bill. Well, how much your cable bill? $200. I'm like, what the fuck you paying $200 a month for cable? It's the same thing, right? It's, you know, I see people all the time doing the same shit, right? People in the military, people work for the government, people who are self-employed, people who are millionaires, people who are broke as hell, people who are poor, broke, homeless, middle class, construction workers, supervisors. It's all the same. It's all the same. We all have similar struggles, but yet they're different. Right? We all have bills. I have bills. Warren Buffett has bills. Bill Gates has bills. Jeff Bezos has bills, right? How much do you think Jeff Bezos spends a month in cable? Right? He don't give a damn about it. That's just between you and him, right? But you can't afford to not give a damn about it. That's the difference. What's happening? 700 credit scores. I see you, brother. I see you. What we be purchasing then? What we be purchasing then? I don't know what you're saying. I'm gonna have to get off here in a sec. Probably hoarders. What are you talking about? The millionaire next doors people? I don't know the reference, but you got to pick your poison, man. Right? You got to be selective on what you spend your money on. Right? I hate telling people what to spend their money on, but you almost got to look at your financing and money as like it's like a commodity. All right. I want you to like visualize how much money has came through your hand. Right? Let's say the average person makes $55,000 a year. Let's say you're 45 years old. So let's do some simple math, right? You've been working since you was 18 years old. Let's say from 18 to 30, you've made $30,000. So 18 to 30, which is 12 years, you made $30,000. So 12 times $30,000, that's $360,000. And from 30 to 45, you made 54,000. Right? So 360, 54,000, that's 15 years. 15 years at $54,000, which the average American makes. That's 810,000 plus the $360,000 you made from when you was a kid. That's $1.17 million. If you're 45 years old, you probably made $1.1 million in your lifetime. If you worked since 18 years old. I got you $30,000 from year 18 to year 30, then year 30 to 45, 55,000. Almost $1.2 million. Now, I want you to look at your life and say, what do you have to show for it? Do you have $1.2 million worth of shit to show for it? Probably not even close. Do you have $120,000 worth of shit to show for it? Probably not. Do you got $12,000 worth of shit to show for it? Probably some furniture, some other shit. Probably some shoes and some clothes. Right? If you don't own your home, I want you to do this experiment. If you don't own your home, turn your house upside down and put everything that you own in a grassy field. And let's say everything that's in this pile, I turned your house upside down and I dumped it all out. And I'm going to come through and I'm going to give you half of what that shit's worth. You bought a Gucci bag, You bought some clothes, you bought some shoes. Okay, cool. These Michael Jordans were $200. I'm gonna give you $100 for it. This Gucci bag was $500. I'll give you $250 for it. Because that shit is only worth what someone's willing to pay for it. Right? Just because you paid that much for it don't mean someone else will. You gave it the value when you bought it. That doesn't mean that it's valuable. Oh my goodness, they don't want to hear that shit. Damn, that's a bar. Woo! Damn, that was a good one. Oh, God dang. Gucci put the price on it. You gave it the value when you bought it. Now, if you didn't purchase the shit, then Gucci will lower their prices. And then they will keep lowering it until you pay for it. But if you never bought it, then you give it no value. When you spend $1,000 on Gucci, you give it the value. They don't. The price doesn't dictate shit. I can put $1 trillion on this fucking house. Now, if a clown want to come pay $1 trillion for it, then they gave it the value. I didn't. I just put a number on it. Oh my goodness. That's a bar. Woo, man, that's going to be a meme. Whenever y'all see that, say, I remember that. When y'all see it, because I record everything and I'm going to put it right back online. Now, let's say all your stuff is spread out in the field. Now, and I gave you half of what it's worth. How much money would you have in your hand? If you had to guess. 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand? You made $1.2 million over the last, I don't know, 30 years. You have $15,000 worth of shit to show for it? That's value to you? That's value. It's crazy, man. It's I hate to do those scenarios because it almost makes you reflect on your life thinking, what the fuck am I doing? But I like to do those scenarios because I think to yourself, man, what the fuck am I doing? Right? When you put in the perspective of a pile of stuff, taking half the value from it and giving you the cash value for it, it makes you think you spent the majority of or all your life buying a whole bunch of shit that ain't worth nothing. Now, if you had a house, we can sell the house. You got stock, bonds, mutual funds. That's assets. You own a business. Those are assets. But all that shit that you got piled in your closet or piled, that little raggedy ass car in your driveway, I'm throwing that in there too. I'm giving you half for it. Well, the sticker price says 64. Cool, I'll give you 32. That's what we're going to do with that. Well, I owe 40. Well, it looked like you negative $8 grand then, man. I didn't tell you to buy that shit. So individual asks, what do you think is more liquid for starting out, buying a business or buying real estate? I would weigh the pros and cons of both of them. Real estate has its perks. Businesses have their perks too. I would almost have to evaluate where you starting from and kind of go from there. Well, how much you got down? You ain't gonna buy too many businesses with $5,000 down. But if you get into if 3.5% down, you can buy a $150,000 house with an FHA loan. Mr. Richard, ain't no $150,000 house near me. Bullshit. Maybe besides California and some parts of New York. But there's houses. Some parts of Washington. But there's houses. You might got to commute. I didn't say that. But you're going to have to do it. Let's get to some questions. Let's get to the questions. All you really need is YouTube Premium at $13. That's funny that you say that. I got rid of my YouTube Premium. You paying $13 a month not to watch commercials, which you can skip in 5 seconds? Your 5 seconds of your life is worth $15 a month. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, let's say if you had YouTube Premium 10 years. 15 times 12, That's 180 times 10, $18,000. You know what? I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna go super petty. Investments. Let's pull up my investment calculator. You started out with $0. You put it into a basic ETF, and you invest. You started out. You invest $15. You started off with $0. You got rid of YouTube Premium. You put the $15 a month only into a ETF that tracked the S&P 500 or the S&P 100 or the S&P 50 for 10 years. You have $4,000 in that account, which don't sound like a lot, but it's $15. You skipped a commercial. You skipped a commercial that's 5 seconds long. Hey, bud, I found a great business to buy. Beach rentals, asking 175. Yeah, man, I'll have to look at the financials. What the asking price is almost irrelevant, right? I need to know the ins and outs of the business. I need to know the cash flow. I need to see all that. I need to see the works. Because that's what we look at, my friend. I don't give a damn if you gave it to me. That's what I'm going to break something down to you. A deal is not when it comes to business acquisition, a business acquisition deal is not what you pay for it. What it brings to you after the debt is serviced. Okay? If a business is $1 billion, but it brings me in 300 million, that's a deal. If there's a $1 million business that brings me in 10K a year, well, that ain't a deal. If there's a business for $100,000, but I lose $5,000 a year, that ain't a deal. There's a business. There's a Little Caesars that I'm going to give you, but the Little Caesar loses $5,000 a month. Is that a good deal? I gave it to you. It's free. Here's your employees. Here's your staff. Here's your menu. Here's your hours. Here's the numbers to the manager. Here's your bank account. Here's everything. Take it. Free. Zero. Sign right here. Sign right here. Sign right here. Cool. I'm done. Bye. You lose $5,000 a month. Is that a deal? I gave it to you. No. That's shit. That is trash. Right? I'll even make it a little more down to earth. There's a Little Caesars. Here you go, take it for free. Here's the title. Here's the business agreement. Here's the LLC. Here's the S corp. Here's the C corp. Here's the business structure. Here's the business address. Here's the business phone number. Here's everything. Here's for free. You lose $100 a month. You still want it? Mr. Rich, I can turn it around. You're missing the point, my friends. You are missing the point. Why turn some shit around when I can just buy it already turned around? Why groom a woman to be the perfect wife when you just can find the perfect wife? Why a car that I can make it to the car I want it to be when I could just buy the fucking car that's already what I want? Why buy a business that I could put money into it and turn it around when I can just buy one that already has the insights and the money that I already want. Stop me when I'm lying, people. Stop me when I'm lying. Y'all over here got me throwing my Tom Fords, man. I don't really like idolize designers and shit like that, but you know, these glasses was pricey. I got a discount there. You shouldn't be buying no name brands anyways until you get to a point. Oh, Superbox, that's what it's called. Somebody said it. Superbox. Superbox. Individual said, I just sent you a DM. I answer all DMs on Sundays and some parts of Mondays. The DM game is nasty, man. It's nasty. And then I wasn't feeling the best for like a week and a half. And once you have like 100 messages to 200 messages a day, and you miss a week's worth of messages, it gets nasty. It's so bad, it almost makes you don't want to do it. It's so hard to keep caught up with y'all individual stuff. That's why, and then I'm gonna say this too. That's why I offer the webinar. So if you ever want to really get a hold of me or meet me or kind of see what I have to offer, just click the link. Click on Be Your Own Boss. Sign up. I think it's name, address, and email. Name, number, email. And I don't sell your information. I don't bombard you with text messages or text blasts. You know, you come to the class, you try to learn as much as possible. If you like what I have to offer and you want to move forward, you move forward. If not, you'll never see or hear from me again. As long as you come in here getting this free information, right? Yeah, about as simple as it gets. If I do get to your email, and a lot of times my DMs, I have to like be super vague because I just can't sit there and devote a lot of time to one individual with a random question. Like it's a lot, and I don't know if y'all ever had to like message or keep a conversation with hundreds, maybe thousands of people at any given time. It's a lot. And I'm not trying to justify me not messaging you. I'm just trying to say that I want you to see it from my perspective. And I want you to see it from a perspective of, man, this individual is trying to give you as much personal of his time as possible. And one thing I even thought about hiring out like a VA or somebody to message all these people back. I don't do that, right? You have a question, you message me, right? When you DM me, you're talking to me. If you want to get into a coaching or mentorship or a one-on-one, you don't get someone on my team. You don't get a stand-in. You don't get somebody who has similar experience. You get me. And if you do get into a mentorship or a coaching, we meet every Friday, and it's me. And I sit there and I try to answer as many questions as possible, and I try to get everybody pointed in the right direction, which is kind of getting crazy lately, but you know, I don't mind, right? Sometimes my brain hurts after I do it and my throat hurts because I'm talking so much. But I mean, that's what you want. That's what you need, right? I've seen people that have mentorships or programs where you can't even ask the person the questions. I've seen mentorships where they just read from a slide for an hour and then they get off. I've seen mentorships where the person just sends you regurgitated material from somebody else. I've seen mentorships where people come in there and answer one or two questions and then they get off. Or I've even seen mentorships where the person that you thought you were going to get the program from is not even there. It's somebody else. And to get them, you have to pay an upcharge. And or I've seen programs where individuals in there teaching you, the person is in the class, but the person doesn't even fucking talk. Heaven forbid you ask them a question, and all they're gonna do is tap dance around the damn question. None of that shit here. You want to talk to me? You get me. You want to meet with me every week? You get me. You have a question over specific business? You get me. I'll break it down. You want to talk about real estate? I'll break it down. You want to talk about credit? I'll break it down. You want to talk about LLCs, EINs, business structure? I break it down. That's what I do. I comically enjoy it, right? Sometimes I get overwhelmed, but I comically love it. I will sit there and talk to you. And you know, I've even seen this one mentorship where you can ask a question, the person answers the question with a 30-second rebuttal, no clarification, no back and forth, and you're done. Yo, what do you think about the housing market? Yeah, the housing market is going to go through, you know, it's kind of going to be a little taboo until we get through the election. And once the election over, I think the housing market probably pick up a little bit. Well, what about next question? Click. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, like, like I just want to have a good debate. I mean, you ask me a question, I want to answer the question to the best of my ability. And if I don't, I'll say, hey, I'm gonna look this up, or let's do this for now. I'm gonna go look something up, and I'm gonna come back to you. Right? That's how you motherfuckers. That's how people grow. Can't be cussing, right? Aunties, aunties, and grandmas might be watching me and stuff like that. So those on social media, YouTube, TikTok, no, sorry, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, uh, Twitter, X, my Instagrams. I appreciate y'all being here, but they don't allow me to talk over 2 hours. So, I mean, I had to get off of there, but I appreciate you for being here. So generally, whenever you watch a live on those social medias, it has to be 2 hours, or I have to like get off and then get back on. So I'm probably not going to get back on today, but make sure you're following if you're on those social media platforms. And if you find value in any of this type of stuff, make sure you follow. Make sure you just show your support. Watch the content. Leave a comment. Just say thanks for your time. I never knew this stuff was even out there. I like your mentality. And if you want to, you know, learn more, you know, like I said, come to the free class. We talk about all this kind of stuff. But I appreciate you being here, and thank you. Make sure you're following. Yes, sir.